as they decide they want to come in. Coolio, we're live. I'm going to set that up there. I'm going to turn that down a little bit more. We're going to share to Facebook. So hard typing like this. Alrighty, close that. I'll set you in a giant cascade over there. We're gonna hang out. Let some people come into the stream. This is differenty for me. I was initially going to do this in my game room, but I just did not have a good enough computer in there. So yay, more things to spend money on for this channel. I say that like I'm complaining about it. Choked on soda earlier, and I'm still suffering for it. Crack that open. I am excited for this model kit. I am very, very, very excited for this model kit. It'll be a lot of fun. My voice getting... Oh, this is why I can't have nice things. Is it picking up my... Yep, it's picking up my mic pretty well. That's good. Okay. Should just leave it over on this window. Picks up the same stuff. Alrighty. We are gonna dig into this. Also, peep my bunnies. These are my bunnies. That is my belly. Get used to seeing it, because I need to redo the... Oh, really? Nice! That's a fun coincidence. I am very excited. I have been wanting to do an Evangelion Unit 1 model for a long while. I have one from the sequel manga, but gotta go OG with it, you know? I am very, very, very excited. Even got snippers. Okay. Now, the big problem is that I'm gonna need to remember how to do models. So, we want E and K to start. I think I'm actually just gonna open it all up. Music is just too loud for me. But I need something going on audio-wise, otherwise I'm gonna drive myself nuts. So, main reason I wanted to do... Well, I've been wanting to do model streams for a while. I've got a couple on the back burner that I am excited to do in the future. Not quite sure what the order is going to... how we're going to do them. But it's something fun to do. Plus, it gives me a chance to just sit and chat. And I like sitting and chatting, especially with y'all. So, Magic 30. That is what I want to chat about this stream. Because, holy hell, what a dumpster fire. It really showed how little of a shit Wizards gives. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling, but it's definitely the unpopular opinion, I think. At least if you go, well, that's not really an unpopular opinion either. I guess if I want to try and consider myself an influencer, which, dress for the job you want, right? I'm in the minority as a Magic influencer for thinking that Magic 30 was a bust. I've heard from a lot of big names in Magic, like, oh, don't trust the online negativity. It was a really cool thing. It was a great event. I'm like, no, it wasn't. There were a lot of things wrong with it. I have done... Well, let me finish opening these up and then I'll talk. I feel like they're loud as hell. That way I'm actually focused on just one thing instead of doing multitasking. No, Vegas was cool. I mean, it's Vegas. Hard to do wrong there. Honestly, I enjoyed our flights a lot more this time. I chalked that up to I got a book this time around. Oh, look at that, we got an umbilical cable. Neat. I'm gonna set that aside because I always lose those. Chalk that up to having a book to read on the flights, so it was actually a lot of fun. It was a really... I read Dr. Sleep finally, and that has been on my read list for a long while. I just did not have the focus to sit down and read it. Grab that off the ground. Good lord, I need to clean up under my desk. I have an offer you can't refuse. That's like a $4 foil. Good lord, I need to clean. What was I saying? Flight was great. Dr. Sleep was good. Well, Dr. Sleep was amazing. I definitely prefer the way the movie ends to the way the book ends, but the book was still better, in my opinion. Which, shock on, surprise there. Book being better. I got all sorts of goodies in this. We did an Airbnb. This was my first time doing an Airbnb, and it was really cool. Host was great. We never actually saw her in person, but she was sweet. Neighborhood looked sketch as hell, but actually really solid. I did not do anything other than the convention, though, which I'm kind of mad at myself about. But that's my fault. I can't fault anybody else for that. Those we're going to leave closed until it says we need to open them. And we'll get that out of the way. And we're ready to start assembling. So first thing we need is E and K. And we will start talking about M30. So I'm going to just start out with the facts of M30 and then I'll get to my opinions. Because I thought that'd be the best way to talk about this is... Yeah, finally got to try Beast Burgers. Just something I've really been wanting to do for a long while. There's no close Beast Burger in Cheyenne or Fort Collins. I don't even think there's one in Sioux Falls. Like, none of the bigger areas I frequent has a Beast Burger. So I've never been able to do it until then. It was stupid expensive. those are both G's. C. But it was yummy. I'll give credit where credit is due. It was actual beef, which is always nice to see. 13, 33, and 29. 13 is right there. We also did Margaritaville again. Those were the only... Well, we had Domino's too, I guess, and that's eating out. But we didn't eat out too much. We decided we wanted to try and save some money for other things, which we did. I definitely spent way too much at the actual convention. Also, we had... Oh, shit. I already dropped a piece. That's why I wanted my bigger table. So I wasn't doing this basically in my lap. Oh, where did that piece go, Max? There it is. Thanks for the help, bud. Oh, that is such a tiny piece, too. I don't know how well it'll show up, but it is just tiny. But yeah, foods were food. Not to be dismissive, but we didn't do anything too crazy. It was a good time. Vegas, outside of Magic 30, was a very good time. Inside Magic 30, well, that's another story. How in the Sam hell? They have it so tiny. Okay, so I think you go there like that. So Magic 30. It started out, we went to... Is that... Yes. Yes. We went to, get in line, first off, and the line was massive. Unbelievably massive. I shouldn't say unbelievably. It was Magic's 30th anniversary. Of course it was going to be a giant line. Okay, so we want to do that at the bottom like that. So you would plug in right there. Honestly, check-in wasn't bad. Hi, Discord. Check-in wasn't bad. It was pretty straightforward. Get your proof of vaccination or proof that you don't have COVID, and rock and roll. What got a little awkward was they weren't very straightforward about where to go for your gift bag. Well, I shouldn't say apparently. There was a line, arrows on the ground that said, oh, go this way, and... Okay, it is supposed to go like that. Okay. Go this way, but nobody at the tables said that. It was kind of up to you to discover or hope that you were standing nearby when one of the people in the line was saying, go this way to get your swag bag. I think all of our promos were damaged. Mine wasn't as bad as the other two that were with me, but they had the cards just loosely floating in the bag. Not secured at all, not in like a top loader, just like a cheapo sleeve. I shouldn't say cheapo. It was an Ultra Pro sleeve. But, again, just floating there in the bag. Not really any protection for it. Which is a real bummer when you consider that they had like $40 promos in there. And they were damaged right from the get-go. They did have a booth where you could exchange your damaged one for an undamaged one. And from what I heard, they weren't even taking the damaged ones. So Probably should have just gone and gotten a free $40 promo. But that's neither here nor there. The fact is, they had damaged promos in the bags. Where is Jay at? I probably should have put this in alphabetical. That's a P. N, K, M, P, C, L. So I must have moved J already. It was very weird. Then they had this huge parking lot. Basically, oh, there's Jay. They had the entire parking lot for the Expo World Center closed off. So there was no parking at the venue either. You had to basically Uber in or park far away and walk in, which isn't the worst, but it's still just surprising. Like, I don't know. It's very weird to me. Anyways, they had the whole parking lot sealed off, and off to one side you had the Ruby and Pearl line, which, if you didn't know, there were a bunch of different ticket statuses. Oh, that's kind of cool, the way that works. It moves. Whoop, 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 whoop. They had different tiers for the tickets. They had... Oh, I'm going to get it wrong now that I'm saying it. Emerald was the day passes. Sapphire was base weekend passes. Ruby was the... Oh, my whoop, whoop, whoop wasn't even in the camera shot. Whoop, 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 whoop. They had Ruby, which was supposed to be geared towards Commander players. And then they had Pearl, which was just, in general, VIP status. Lastly, they had the Black Lotus package, which Black Lotus got to skip the line and go in early. Cool for them. Good for them. I want A and E. So there is E again. I want E27. They had us all corralled, basically, into these slots, and that was the line for getting into the actual convention floor. Not terrible, except that it was all in the sun. Shouldn't say that. If you had the Ruby or Pearl, you got to stay in the shade. So, hey, pay more money to Wizards and you get to stay out of the Vegas heat. Is what that boiled down to. Aside from that, they all sunlight. And I shouldn't say very little. There were no ADA... What's the word? There was no way for people with disabilities to stand in that line and then go into the convention floor. You had to go around and back in. I'm gesturing like you can see me, and you can't, and it's bugging me that my gestures are going unseen. So that was a real pain in the butt to me. Not because I'm disabled, but I know how big of a pain in the ass it can be for disabled people to not be able to access those things, to effectively be treated like second-class citizens in consideration. And that was one of the biggest issues with Magic 30 to me. But I'm getting ahead of myself there. So they had us standing in line, and eventually they start letting people in. Pearl and Ruby gets first go, and you see them. It's almost like a stampede to get into the building first. Stampede is, honest to God, the best way to put it. because there was just no rhyme or reason. There was very little, I felt, attempt to kind of get it going in an organized fashion. I know you're supposed to go there. Why are you not going there? Just, it was a mad dash to get into the door. It seemed to me like there we go. There wasn't really anybody trying to guide in. It was just open the floodgates, let everybody go. Which, I guess, it works. But also, if you were Pearl or Ruby, there was no ramp to get up. You still had to go all the way around everything. If you were in a wheelchair, for instance. Just, it's dumb as fuck. It really is. I shouldn't swear because swearing makes you sound less intelligent and you're taken less seriously. I don't care. It's dumb as fuck that there was no consideration for disabled peoples. Again, I'm not disabled, but I know a lot of people who are disabled. So I know a lot of the limitations that accompany being disabled. And a lot of those things were not taken into account at Magic 30. Which is a huge disappointment. I'm trying to get this to go in, and it's not wanting to go in. Like, it's very narrow. That aside, it was about a half hour later before they let Emerald go, or Emerald and Sapphire go. The day the plebeian weekday passes go in. Seriously, how in the Sam heck are you supposed to fit in there? There we go. Kinda. There we go. That was difficult, but it slots in kind of nicely, honestly. So overall, it was like 2 hours standing out in the hot sun, hot Vegas heat. Oh, where did that... There it is. So that's the entry plug. That's what that was. I want to fully open that because I'm going to lose it all. Slip and fall. You'll remember me. About 2 hours in the Vegas heat waiting to get in. Not terrible, but not ideal. Come back to that with when I'm doing objective stuff. So we get into the floor, and the one thing I wanted to do when we got to this event was I wanted to watch the Game Nights live. If you don't know, Game Nights is one of the things that got me really interested in doing content creation. Game Nights is a not Commander exclusive, because they do experiment from time to time, and I love when they experiment. It's all about Commander, though, for the time being. So I really wanted to watch the live show. I thought... Well, that's kind of getting into subjective territory again. It's really hard to do this objectively and then do it subjectively. Weirdly enough, I never heard anybody else comment on the accessibility issues. Not a single other person. So, I don't know if it's just people weren't being vocal about it, or if they weren't affected by it, so they didn't think it was worth commenting about. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I won't speculate on that part. But no, I wanted to do Game Nights Live. But it's a convention. And the Game Nights Live wasn't supposed to start for another 2 hours. So I figured I'd go and explore the floor a bit. See what all is going on there. Okay, you face forward. Is it just right there you pop in? It's gonna be. It's gonna be me. So I don't know what really was going on there. There's that. How do you fit on? I have no idea how you fit on. But you, I think, go over you just like so. There it is. I see it now. The floor was awesome. I think that is one thing everybody agreed on. They blew it out of the park with the floor designs. As you walk in, once you're past security, they have all of these different Magic the Gathering stands, which showed a bunch of Magic the Gathering characters. You had all sorts of heavy hitters. One of the things that I kind of like about Magic, and this is a bit of a tangent, is that it's very very Pokemon-esque with the characters. Everybody's favorite character got some sort of representation there. Which is awesome. 100% so cool. Oh, that's supposed to go there. And so you go there like so, right? Perhaps not. Where are you supposed to go? 7 goes on there. Then goes on the front. Yeah, like that. Ah! I need smaller hands for this. So they had posters for everything. I cannot remember what they had day one for the display with all the posters, but day 2 onwards, they had this really cool looking beanbag chair that is going to start being sold next year. If I had more space in my game room, I would love to have it, and I loved seeing it on display. That was really cool. Beyond the posters, they had these, I call them dioramas. What did Wizards call them? Enclosures, I think was the word Wizards used. Where they had professional cosplayers cosplaying Magic characters in their zone. I'm trying to think if I've talked about her before on stream. 2 of my absolute favorites were there. Olivia Gobert-Hicks as Liliana, well, specifically Professor Onyx, in a Strixhaven kind of study lounge area. And then Tappy Toeclaws, who is the best gay in Magic, was cosplaying Chandra in the Kaladesh one. Then you also had a Teferi lounge, Teferi's study area, basically, with, I did not catch the names of the Teferi, Elspeth, or Garruk cosplayers, but they had them there. They had a New Capenna one with Elspeth. They had Garruk out in the wilds. And they were really cool, really well designed. There were a bunch of Easter eggs. My favorite was the chain veil being on display in the Strixhaven with Liliana. I cannot get this to go on for the life of me, and I cannot figure out why. I think a little piece that's sticking up there that shouldn't be sticking up like that. That is absolutely what's wrong. Super cool design. And then in a couple different places around the convention floor were statues of Huatli with her raptor and Kaya phasing through a wall. Super cool designs. But that was it. There was nothing beyond the entrance that was Magic designed. You could maybe call the land stations a design if you want to be real generous about it. I don't want to be real generous about it, though. It was so empty. And, like, I've never done a Magic convention before, but I've done conventions before. And just about every convention hall I've ever been to has had some kind of design on the walls to really show what convention you're there for. This did not. And it's not the worst thing in the world that they didn't, but it felt very empty. I think the best way to like put it into perspective, if you've ever seen pictures from DashCon, the Tumblr convention, there's that picture of the ball pit and like nothing else on the walls. That is very apropos for how Magic 30 looked. So you've got the entrance you came into. Then it kind of radiated out like a rainbow almost. The next level on the rainbow was all the vendors, which was super cool. There were a ton of really famous, I would say, vendors that were on the convention floor selling. You had Ultra Pro had its own booth. That was just Magic merch, no cards, but merch. You had a bunch of different vendors all doing stuff. The Artist Alley was also there, which we'll get to the Artist Alley in a moment. That went on pretty nice. Just a bunch of different vendors. I should have seen this coming, and honestly, having calmed down from it, it's not as bad as it was, but good God were the prices abhorrent. Like, no, I shouldn't say that. Prices weren't abhorrent. Prices on singles were actually pretty well TCG marketplace value, which is really impressive for a convention. Most people get their cards beforehand because it's pretty well understood that that's going to be the best price you get on cards is before the convention. I picked up 3 cards in total. I picked up a Invocation Damnation, an Invocation Omniscience, and a Proxy Black Lotus. Coming back to that Black Lotus later. The invocations were right on the money for pricing. Really well priced. They go for about 200 ballpark-ish each. And I got the Damnation for 170 and the Omniscience for 180. I think they called it 370 altogether. Which, 370 after tax, I think, was what it was. No, because it ended up being 400 after tax. Not bad. The Black Lotus, which I'm really happy about because it is one of my favorite arts for Black Lotus, was a Bandai No, was it Bandai Namco? I think it was Bandai, at least. So yeah, Namco is the video gaming partner. They came out with this series of proxy Magic cards. They had Jace the Mind Sculptor, Nicol Bolas, Black Lotus, a couple others I can't think of, but they're completely in Japanese, completely unusable, but they're foil too. So I think it was Cool Stuff Inc. was advertising them for... Oh, that popped off. That's what I get for playing with things. For $20. And it was all over their Twitter of come to Cool... No, it wasn't Cool Stuff. Was it Star City Games? I'll have to double check later on. But come get your $20 Black Lotus. And it was kind of at the height of the backlash to the 30th anniversary product, which, if you don't know, 30th anniversary packs are the biggest joke product Magic the Gathering has ever put out. Pay $1,000 for 60 random proxies. In the build-up to Las Vegas, I kept sending my boss this meme of, oh, I found a random uncut sheet of 30th anniversary on my printer. And it made me laugh every time I did. E14. So, to have a company come out and be like, hey, we've got this special proxy Black Lotus you can get for only $20. I was like, I've got to support that. That's trolling to the max, and I love it. So of course I bought one. And it's really gorgeous. I love it. An E6 and E15. Gonna get these cut out before I keep talking. Set that to the side there. That to the side there. Okay, is that everything? PCA. So I need to find the PC. Vendors' prices were abhorrent. I went to one that I trusted because a friend of mine works there. Well, an acquaintance of mine works there. And he had told me they were giving very good prices. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I will go ahead and sit down and get these $350-ish in Magic cards sold to him. $135. Basically everything that I was trying to sell, they priced at half of what it was worth. Not even half, a fourth, which is just unheard of. Damn it. There it goes, man. There it is. So generally when you're buy listing at a convention, there is the usual accepted buy list price. Most places will have it posted. I do not remember seeing the one for the store I went to, which is my bad. That is definitely on me. But even for the buy list cards, the prices were just abhorrent. I had quite a few $40 cards that they bought from me for $10. I probably could have shopped around, but that's another point that's coming up. It was not a great experience for me. Should I plug you in here first, then? Is that what you're saying? Yes, it is what you are saying. I see now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That's the vendors. In the vendors area was also the artist alley, which was not a great idea. I don't know. That's getting into subjective territory, so we'll shelve that statement for now. One of the biggest things I'm trying to word this objectively, because I don't know, I feel like that's the best way to be taken seriously, is to be objective about your opinions. Then objective about the experience, and then go into opinions. The artist alley was just cramped. There was no rhyme or reason to the lines. Did I get any signatures day one? I think I got a signature day one. Plug that in. God damn it. Then drop it. The lines were just insane, which, to be expected. Oh, reach down, grab that. To be expected, the lines were insane. But there was just no cohesiveness to the lines. I remember what it was day one. My friends were... the people I came with were getting a signature for the guy that worked the card shop the shop I sold at. And they were wanting this specific artist, but the artist line went everywhere. There was no sense of reason on where his line was, if you were actually in his line. It was a mess. Oh, shit. Popped that off. It was a mess. Plain and simple, it was a mess. It was not a great artist experience. I got more to say on that, but that'll be in the objective section. Back to Game Nights Live, because I mentioned that earlier. So... the rainbow. Next level of the rainbow is actually 3 sections. So off on the left side, after all the shops and everything, you would come to... did that pop in right? I don't think so. You would come into the main stage area. Main stage was a good-sized area. I was very impressed from the outside looking in at the main stage area. I say the outside looking in because that day one, to get a seating spot, you would have had to go straight from the line coming in and get in line to get a seat at the main stage. There was no other way possible to get a seat. Unless you wanted to stand and wait for somebody to get bored and leave. It was just abysmal. Over in that same area, they had the official Wizards store, too. And it was abysmal. There was no way... It was such a long line. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a huge convention. Lines are going to be inevitable. But these lines were just insane. It's like Wizards did not anticipate how big the 30th anniversary of Magic was going to be. Which I find extremely hard to believe. I want L. L and C. I move L already? No, that's J. There's C. Yeah, it's like they had no idea how popular this was going to be. So everything that involved a line was just a mess. There was no way for me to get in and see the one event. Exactly. You think they would, but they didn't. They just straight up had no staff there to help organize. They had staff there to say, no, there's no seating available, but nothing else of the like. So that was the main stage. God awful. Never got to actually attend any events at the main stage. So, top of the rainbow was the play area. I should put that in quotations because it was the organized play area. Not bad to have that distinction, but there's more to it. Oh, good God, that is just teeny tiny. So I think I want to get C5 first. Where is C5? That is C5. The organized play area. It was probably, the play area in total was probably about a third of the space for the event, which is awesome. Except that it was organized play only. There was no free play spaces. There we go. That's how you slot in. I was right to wait on that. No free play spaces. Well, correction. Give me a second on that. No free play spaces in the actual convention floor, which is really weird for a convention celebrating a game to not have any free play spaces. I digress. How the frick are you guys supposed to fit? Where are you supposed to fit? But they did have organized play events. If you had paid attention, keyword there, paid attention, which I did not do, paid attention and gotten a spot in those organized play events. And they were expensive when I finally found them. Could not get into any organized play events. They were all sold out by the time I realized they even existed. So that wasn't an option. Part of the play zone, though, was the command zone, which sounds really freaking cool, right? An area just dedicated to commander play, the biggest format in Magic the Gathering at the moment. Totally awesome. Can't fucking go in. You were not allowed to go in unless you had purchased the Ruby or Black Lotus Pass. You had to pay $350 at least to be able to go into that area. I lost the other orange chevron. I have no idea where that piece is at. I don't think I'm going to find it down here. Whoops. Could not go in. Could not go in and participate in free playing with other commander players at that area. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, why does Dodge keep specifying in that area? Well, let me tell you. There was actually an area for free play in the main convention hall. Standing room only. If you were a person in a wheelchair, the tables were too high for you. Straight up. There were no chairs whatsoever for this commander play area. Which is dumb as fuck. But turns out I discovered this thanks to Pleasant Kenobi on Twitter, who is one of the main writers for, I believe, EDH Rec. I could be very wrong on that. I do not keep up with Pleasant Kenobi. He tweeted towards the end of the day that, hey guys, there is actually a whole other building that Wizards rented out. A whole second building that was totally available for free play. that Wizards never mentioned once. Not a single time in that 3-day weekend, or the 3 months leading up to the event. There was never a single mention of Building B and where there was sit-down space to play a game inside. Now, of course, there were tables outside that people were playing at, which is awesome. But I am not going to take my $3,000, $4,000 commander deck and play it outside where the wind could easily take it and suddenly I just lost $500. No. That's ridiculous. And to think that Wizards thought that it would be okay to have that is ridiculous. So, no play space, day one, that was immediately accessible to all players. None whatsoever. So, we went through, we got a couple autographs signed, despite the insane lines. We got a couple things bought, and I realized that the one event I wanted to go to, there was no way I would be able to sit and watch it comfortably. So we called it a wash. We left early day one. We were there for, I think, 4 hours in total between the line and wandering and the more lines in the building. About 4 hours in total. It was good that we left early. It was good that we left early. Because, crazy thing, AGE. At the close of day one, 7 o'clock, they kicked everybody out. Didn't matter if you were in the middle of an event, if you were shopping, if you were in the middle of a transaction, does not matter. Out the door. Despite the fact, give me a second. Really dries your mouth out to be talking for an hour straight. Despite the fact that on our badges, it says that the convention hall is open until midnight. They kicked everybody out day one. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everybody had to leave. So, heard about that on Twitter, and I was appalled. Happy I didn't have any events or wasn't doing any sales, but still appalled. So day 2 comes around. We get a late start, but this was going to be exciting. This is going to be our convention days, or our cosplay days. Had this, what I thought was a cool Nicol Bolas idea, and I was excited to get out and do something with it. And one of the things I really wanted to do was get a picture with the professional cosplayers, because I really do look up to them. They're amazing individuals. I specifically wanted a picture with Olivia Gobert-Hicks and Tappy Toeclaws, because they are legitimately my idols in Magic the Gathering. They are such amazing and fun individuals, and honestly, one of my goals with the channel is to get them to come on one of these days. Tangent aside, there was no way to find them. No way whatsoever. This was about 2 o'clock, I think, when we did get there again. G18 again. About 2 o'clock. Kind of midway of the show, basically. And they were not in their habitats, as Wizards called it. I still to this day have no idea where they went. Where did that piece that I just dropped go? There it is. Still to this day do not know. there were no postings whatsoever about when the featured cosplayers would be at their enclosures. None whatsoever. So it was all a guessing game, which is not great for a convention with thousands upon thousands of people attending. So tried to make the best of it and go and get some signatures done. And the lines were still just absolutely abysmal. By the time we got there, the one person I wanted to get signatures from had to leave early. I do not fault her for that. She had some prior engagements with a friend of hers, from what I heard through the grapevine. So, no problem with her leaving early. I figured I would catch her the next day. I did not catch her the next day, but... do I have that backwards? I totally have that backwards. So did not get the signature from the one person I wanted to get one from that day. So I got in line and waited for probably 45 minutes to get 6 cards signed. $40. Which is a lot to me, even for an artist's signature. I paid it because I do respect the artist, and Krem can vouch for me. I do try to overpay when I can. I like supporting the arts, but it rubbed me the wrong way, you know? That was a lot of money for a scribble on a card. Something that did happen day 1 or day 2 that was different from day 1 is they did open the command zone a bit. Opened it to everybody. The caveat was if they needed the space for an event, you got kicked out. So day 2, yeah, we had play space now, but very conditional play space, which is not great. Again, for a game that should be dedicated to... Did I do this wrong? Yeah. No. Okay, I see what I'm doing now. There was still the second floor. I'll give them that. But there still was not an actual dedicated play space. So we quickly ran out of things we had the patience for on day 2. I think all in all we spent 2 hours there. This is coming along nicely. I'm very happy with this. We spent about 2 hours there. So I want E and PC. PCC. Yeah, all in all about 2 hours. One of the things that happened, and I was very happy about for day 2 and day 3, kind of bleeding into day 3 now, is that Jimmy Wong and Josh Lee Kwai of Game Nights did post, hey guys, we're going to be at Building 2 at da-da-da-da-da-da time. From da-da-da-da-da-da time. And they posted that on Twitter. Something interesting with the app was one of the few announcements they did make was to say that Mark Rosewater, one of the big lead design developers for Magic the Gathering, was going to be at the convention at this time. To my recollection, they did not say where. They just said Mark Rosewater is going to be in the building at this time. Which is good, I guess, that they finally used the app to do something. I guess. Trying to piece together how this is supposed to... Okay, I get it now. I swear half this is just me rereading and rereading the directions to make sure I'm putting his pelvis together correctly. Her pelvis together correctly. So good on Josh and Jimmy. They were honestly the highlight of my weekend there. They are both incredible people and really took the time to listen to their fans. You could definitely tell the burnout was getting to them. I talked to Jimmy, or he asked if I was enjoying the convention. I was like, I have yet to get a single game of Magic in. He's like, yeah, me too. And that was a bit of a disappointment to hear, because I know one of the things they absolutely love is interacting with their fans. So get up bright and early for day 3 because I had a survey to take. I am under an NDA still on that survey, so I can't go into specifics about what was asked, but it was interesting. Again, without going into specifics, it was interesting. There were a lot of very... I was not prepared for the questions they were going to ask. At the end, though, they did ask what our thoughts on the convention overall had been. And myself and another person indicated that we would be very unlikely, to return to another Wizards convention because this one had been a mess, honest to God. Like, objectively, it was a mess. It was a very not great convention. But once I get done with the survey, I go and get in line to meet Josh and Jimmy. I figure if I couldn't get to watch Game Nights live, I could at least get to meet and greet Josh and Jimmy, get an autograph, etc., get a picture with them, which I do have pictures with them, and that will be going up on my Instagram sometime soon. Same with the picture I got with Tappy. It was a 4-hour wait to meet them. And that is on nobody's fault. But again, out in the hot-ass New Vegas sun, they had some shade if you were at the head of the line. And I think to have been at the head of the line, I think I heard from somebody that they had gotten there at like 9 in the morning. And I got there at 11. It wasn't until 2 o'clock, like close to the end of their signing, that I was finally able to get up there and say hi. I got their signatures on my, that's a D, not a B, I can't read, on my carry case, which, love that carry case. Shout out to James Yates, I shouldn't use full names. Shout out to James and Kat at Frontier Trampoline Park. They got me that case when I was working there, and I love it, and I still use it. It's a great little case there. Love it. I got quite a few signatures on it, too. Not just Jimmy and Josh. I also got Voxy, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite people. I had only seen her on the Professor's Magic show, Shuffle Up and Play. If you have not watched it, you absolutely should. It is such a great... It is quintessential Magic. I am very willing to say that of the Professor's show. Quintessential Magic. It is everything that Magic should be. It is people getting together, playing the game, having a good time. I started after the Professor, and I want to model my show more like his. Because it is just that good. Shuffle Up and Play. Wish the Professor had been to Vegas, because I would have loved to hear his takes on Magic 30. Because he's not a shill for Wizards. Why is this not going together? It's like the pieces are too fat. So I get done with Josh and Jimmy about 2 o'clock. In the meantime, my friends who had accompanied me were exploring the convention, trying to do something cool. Could not get in line there we go. For any of the artists, because they've got the attention span of a goldfish like I do. So that was kind of out of the question. They were able to find a free table and were able to play amongst themselves. Did not get any games in with other people while I was gone doing this with Josh and Jimmy. But they were able to play games and have a good time, which is awesome. That is exactly what needs to happen in this community. What's next? HIPC EPC. So we finally meet up after I get done with Josh and Jimmy, and we are exploring the convention a little bit more. Another big issue with... I think this was an issue with the building itself, more so than an issue Wizards had, but pretty significant issue for a convention. There were a single set of bathrooms on the convention floor, and they were all the way at the other end of the floor. Which reminds me, I forgot the only other thing they had on the convention floor that took up, honestly, a good 1/6 of the space. So, the little displays of Magic, sales, main stage, play area. Then over here, they had the World's Championship area. Cool, I guess. Not my cup of tea, but whatever. Some people might have enjoyed it. I say might have because there was no seating there. I heard later from a bunch of people that it was just standing room only. There was no place to sit and actually watch the World Championship of Magic the Gathering. I believe the first Worlds we've had since COVID. Which, if you were coming in for that reason, I would be absolutely devastated that I could not sit and watch the World Championship. I would have to stand and watch for hours upon hours. Honestly, I think one of the biggest issues with Magic 30 was the lack of standing room. There was just no standing room, or no sitting space. It was all standing room only. I want C again. So, after reconvening with my group, they announced the start of Worlds, and some people go. We are able to find a couple who were also playing Commander, and we asked if we could join them. And on day 3, we finally got to play a game with somebody that is not people we flew here with. Day 3, before we could play Magic the Gathering. Now, I can hear some criticism. Why didn't you just take a seat outside and play? I don't do heat well. I really just do not do heat well. It is something I got from my father, and it sucks. It's just fact of life. I cannot do heat. So that's one of the reasons I keep harping on the lack of shaded areas, the lack of sitting down areas, just the lack of consideration for people with issues. And I'm not saying like my issue is the biggest there is and I should be accommodated for it, but like if I am having problems in my able-bodiedness, there is definitely somebody who has a disability that is having an absolute hell of a time. Okay, so you go... Is it upside down? No, it's right side up. You go... there. I don't know if I'm doing myself a disservice by assembling a kit while I'm talking about this, but whatever. How many viewers do we have? I have no idea. Oop, did not want to bump that. Bah. Don't know what that is. I did like that better up there. I don't know if if I, in my able-bodied status, able-bodied body, was having this many issues, then a person with legitimate disabilities would have been having it way worse. And that is a goddamn travesty. That is awful. So, we got our game in. It was about 4 o'clock at this time, a couple hours left. We didn't get to any of our events that we wanted to. So we decided to call it a night. And it sucked. Like, I hate using that word because it's got some bad connotations in our family, but it really just was awful. It was not good. I'm trying to think of good things, and like the influencers that were there were awesome. I got a signature from Voxy, which super cool. I got a signature from Kyle Hill, which is super cool. I will post a picture on Instagram later about with the signatures I got and the pictures I got. But like legitimately, it was not good. There were a bunch of issues that I think really could have been remedied by having anybody but Wizards run the show. On-demand events were a big issue. Day one, it was basically said that we don't know if there are going to be any on-demand events, which is unheard of for a Magic event. Absolutely unheard of. Like, people came to play Magic the Gathering. And then later on, they very quietly opened it up. They had this, honestly, very nice app. And they did not announce on-demand events opening up. I would have jumped at the opportunity to play some on-demand Commander. But there was no announcement. And then later, on Twitter, the company that was running on-demand events was like, well, yeah, nobody wanted to play Commander, so we didn't have any events fire. And it's like, you didn't announce any events, that there was the option to have events fire. You did nothing, and now you're complaining to us? Like, what the hell? Okay, E4. It was honestly baffling that they would do that they would post no Commander events because there's no interest. Commander is the biggest Magic the Gathering format. There is always interest. But it came down to there is no communication. There was absolutely no communication in the building. It was just awful. The fact that you had no idea what was going on, where, when, why, they just did not talk to anybody. And it's like, how do you expect to have a successful event if you don't communicate to your attendees? It boils down to, this was a cash grab. This was a way to wring even more money out of Magic players. And like, don't get me wrong, as a business, yes, you have to wring money out of your clients to survive. I get that. But this was touted to be a celebration of Magic the Gathering. And outside of the Gathering, there was very little Magic. It was just awful. They had nothing going for it. And end of the day, it's just depressing that they would do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I realize companies are god awful and are gonna rob you blind as much as they can, but to do it so blatantly just left an awful taste in my mouth. Like, I do not want to travel for any other events that's beyond, like, Denver or South Dakota. It was so bad, it really just turned me off of conventions in general. And I've been to a lot of conventions in my short history on this earth. One of the things that stands out to me is SodakCon. It was meant to be the premier anime gaming convention in South Dakota. And I attended the very first year it was open. And it was better then than Magic 30 was. They had clearly labeled where PlaySpace was. They had it labeled where you could sign up for gaming events. They had it all figured out and all organized. And they had a information booth that had actual cohesion. And that is their first year running. No other experience. This was all new people to running a convention. And they nailed it. Blew it out of the park. Which is why I'm so shocked and disappointed in Wizards of the Coast, who have had 30 years of development of having it all laid out for how to run a successful convention. And basically what it boiled down to is, nah, we don't want to do that. Nah. They'll be happy with what they get. And like, no. That it's one of the reasons that I'm so bothered by God, do I name and shame? I shouldn't. By a lot of the sponsored Magic influencers basically saying like, oh yeah, the event was fine, don't listen to the online discourse, that's just people being negative. And no, it really wasn't for once. Like, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of people who blew it out of proportion and didn't want to give Wizards any credit. I'll give credit where credit is due. The events were amazing. The spectacles were amazing. But there was just so little accessibility. It was impossible to actually enjoy it as a convention. It was not worth the price of admission. Plain and simple. And that really bums me out because they're really, really driving the FOMO home hard of like, you gotta come in and witness these events. They're once in a lifetime events and all this and that and the other. This does not look like the piece I need. Where's my PC? All this and that and the other. Where's my B? So I think what I clipped out is A. Is that B? Is that big enough to be B? Yeah, it is big enough to be B. Okay, so yeah, that is B. All this spectacle, and it was awful. It was just bad. It was a very bad convention. And again, one of the things I noticed is a lot of the Magic influencers being very, very dismissive of the online discourse. And I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that it was two very different events in that sense. The event that Magic influencers got was way different. It was a chance to connect with their fans, and they probably got to sling lots of spells and play games. One thing I noticed specifically was one of the content creators that I really wanted to see was just in the command zone the entire time. There was no way to reach out and say, hey, I really like your content. Can I get a picture? Because she was never outside of the command zone. At least that I saw. All of her posts about, hey, I'll be at Magic 30 were, hey, I'm in the command zone. And so there was no way to actually get out there and connect. And it was such a bummer. Because I really wanted to meet her, but I didn't have the $350 ticket, so I didn't get to. And I don't think I'm alone in that either. Why is this showing me B6 and B7? Do they, like, click together? No, they can't click together. I'm so confused. Well, let's click up B7 first, and then we'll see. It was very unfortunate, is what it was. That being said, hats off to Tappy Toe Claus and Olivia Gobert Hicks for actually being out and about, and I know contractually they had to be because of their involvement in the habitats, but like Tappy was still, even when she wasn't, when she got kicked out for the what's it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? When she got kicked out of her space for the shit, what was it? Am I doing this in the wrong area too? No, this is right. God, flab it. It was the beta draft. She got kicked out of her area for the beta draft, and she still walked around the area and was taking pictures with people, saying hi. You could tell she was exhausted beyond belief, but she was still there participating, and hats off to her. That's what I aspire to be like as a content creator. To be always available for my fans who make me what I am. And I don't blame, I'm not super upset about the people who were just staying in the command zone. They were, I don't want to say lesser known, but were smaller cogs of the machines they star in. Do you go over here? Is that what's going on? So maybe they didn't think they needed or should have been out and about as much. I do not blame them for that. It's frustrating as a fan to not get to meet them, but I also definitely do respect what they were there to do, and that was to sling spells. I definitely respect that. It just very frustrating as a fan. And again, it's a lesson as somebody who wants to be a content creator to like make yourself available for your fans. Why are you not fitting together? Okay, yes, it is supposed to be that side up. Overall, in summation, it was a disaster. Magic 30 was god awful. Not worth the ticket price, not worth the flight. Just, it was not worth it. I would like to give Wizards another chance, but it was awful. I don't know if there is anything they could do to win that favor back, in my opinion. Now, obviously, mine is a very small opinion. I don't think anybody's gonna actually take this seriously. Which begs the question, Dodge, why even make the video to complain? Well, I want to get that sweet, sweet tax write-off of I did this for my channel. Not really, but you know what I mean. I didn't make this video to exclusively be... Where is 1? That is J. That's why I'm not finding the one I'm looking for. I'm not doing this just to harp. I'm doing this because I feel like we, as a community, should be able to hold Wizards accountable for such a disaster. Like, this was just not a good showing for Wizards. What it showed is that Wizards really doesn't care about the game. It rubs me the wrong way that a lot of the discourse about Magic 30 is being chalked up to angry internet boys. I am not an angry internet boy. I am an angry internet man. But my opinion is still valid. My thoughts that Wizards could have done better is still valid. There were good things. I will readily admit that. It was... There was a lot of... There we go. There was a lot of potential. Oh, that move's so cool. This is why I wanted to get an expensive model. Thank you, Krem. I just really wish Wizards would have put the effort in to make a good event. It just broke something. What did I break? Nothing. Okay. That is what is frustrating to me. Like, you had people flying from all over the world. During the game nights meet and greet, I was right next to this very annoying kid. Very annoying kid from Ireland. And he, came from Ireland. There were people coming in from New York. The couple we played came from Ohio. It was just people all over the world coming in to celebrate. Did it pop? Did it go in? Yes, it did. Oh, that's so cool. Coming in to celebrate Magic the Gathering. And this was just an abysmal celebration. Ow. I think that's my conclusion. It could have been so much better, and it wasn't. And that is so disappointing to me as a Magic fan. And it's so disappointing when they do that, because it's very easy to have a celebration and still be a cash grab. Like, again, don't get me wrong, I realize that companies need to make money. F7. Where's my F? Where the F is my F? I get that companies need to make money, and I am not, dang it, holding that against Wizards. It's just, there's a way to make money and still have a good convention. I mean, ugh. Look at the Comic-Cons. The very famous nerd conventions. Whew. I was not expecting to talk for this long. Excuse me. The very famous nerd conventions, Comic-Con, San Diego and New York. They do these routinely. They make bank doing them. That's why they keep happening. Why could they have not hired somebody who has worked intimately with those conventions to do better? It's very disappointing to me. Plain and simple. What are you supposed to be? I do not recognize that piece at all. That's supposed to be one of you guys? Yes, it is. I see what it is. So you go like so. Yes, like so. But I do have some highlights of the event. Namely, getting to meet Kyle Hill again. Kyle Hill is easily one of my absolute favorite YouTubers. He's very frank, he's a very smart individual. I've had this burning question for him for a long while, and I finally got to ask him. For reference, Kyle Hill does a lot of sciencey videos, a lot of stuff exploring different things. His Half-Life series, Half-Life Histories, I believe. I know I've talked about Kyle before. But his Half-Life series is phenomenal. Highly recommend you check it out. But one of the things that he has said is that he is an autistic creator. And he actually has a video where he says, autism is my superpower. So I have been wondering and wanting to suggest to him that he do something about the autistic brain. And I asked him, like, why would you consider doing something like that? And his answer was yes, but, which is actually a phenomenal way to answer that question. His yes, but was, as an autistic individual, he could do a video like that. However, as a scientist, he would rather have somebody who is in a better field a field more related to autistic studies to do that video. Because he wouldn't want to take away from their legitimacy. Why do I feel like I'm doing this backwards? Am I doing this backwards? Why does it look like it's backwards? Rawr, rawr, rawr. Can I plug you and unplug you? Is that an option? So maybe that'll make it fit better. So, hella respect to Kyle Hill for that answer. That is the best answer he could have given. I would love to, but it's out of my wheelhouse, and I want somebody with better authority to do it. And just mad respect to him for that. As always, he is... I met him at Command Fest Las Vegas, and he was phenomenal there. Very friendly, very funny guy. He was taking a while to get stood up, so I was like, maybe he just wants to take the picture here, so I knelt by him. He's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't inflate my ego. Okay, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Just a really great guy. I do have this on backwards. That's why it's not fitting, right? Oh, this is the worst, is when you do have to undo something with a model. Or will that work? Will that work? Will that work? I think it will. I think it might. Oh, it totally will. Perfect. So, mad respect to Kyle Hill. He's phenomenal. Has been phenomenal. Will continue to be phenomenal. He's one I absolutely hope to get on the channel one of these days. So share my videos so I can start making a profit on this thing, and I can invite cool guests like that. Super sarcastic. Please don't feel like I'm that kind of guy. Tappy Toe Claws was another absolute highlight of the event, of my experience at least. I have been wanting to meet her for a long while. I was first introduced to her on game nights during an ungame with, I believe it was Olivia Gobert Hicks and Josh and Jimmy, and loved her right away. She's phenomenal, and the more I got to know about her, excuse me, the more I was like, I need to get to know her better. The more I want to meet her. And I walked into the convention floor. I was exploring the enclosures, the habitats, and I saw her, and I was immediately like, oh my god, it's Tappy Toe Claws. Somebody pinch me. I'm dreaming. This can't be real. And I go up. I look so nervous when I go up there because somebody else had just taken a picture, and I'm like, I don't want to take a picture yet. I'm going to be in cosplay tomorrow. I hope to get a picture with you then. She's like, oh my god, yes, please come get a picture with me when you're in cosplay. Heart melts. And I say, you are just such an inspiration. You are so amazing, and I just love your whole vibe. And I swear to God, she blushes. And she was just phenomenal. Missed her on day 2, but finally caught up to her on day 3. I did not get my picture with her in cosplay like I wanted to. Oh, that looks so cool. Did not get my picture with her in cosplay like I wanted to, but still got to meet her and say, hey, you're amazing. Can I get a picture? And I did. I got my picture with Tappy, and I'm very happy I got my picture with Tappy, because Tappy is amazing. If you don't already, please go and follow her Instagram, her Twitter, everything. She is a phenomenal human being and deserves all the love and attention. Oh, I was totally putting that part on backwards. That looks kind of cool. Looks correct, at least. That is the body so far. Let's see here. Olivia Gobert Hicks, I didn't get to interact with as much. I saw her day one, and I was... she got me so good, too. I went up, and she had a mask on, and her hair is normally silver, but she had dyed it black because Liliana. So I wasn't 100% sure, and I didn't want to go around confusing people, because that's how my autistic brain works. I don't want to offend somebody by confusing them with somebody else. So I just very nervously, are you Olivia? I'm right, you're Olivia Gobert Hicks, right? She's like, no, I'm not. I don't know where she is. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for bothering you. And I'm fucking with you. Like, oh, you got me. And had a short little conversation with her. She is phenomenal. She has the absolute best vibe out there. If you saw any of the pictures of the party that happened at Magic 30, which was apparently god-awful, I'm kind of happy we didn't get tickets. We did too long to get them. They were sold out. But she was Olivia Voldaren for the party, which was very cool. Oh, it goes in the smaller hole. Like so, just like that. Perfect. Why do you not fit right there? Okay, I get it now. I get it now. Look, Mom, I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. But Olivia's always a treat. Love encountering Olivia. Again, share my videos so I can start turning a profit on this and I can get Olivia to come and be on the show. That would be a dream come true. These require over here 3 and 4. I'm gonna guess it's you two. Let's see here. Who else was there? Lady Danger was there, and she is probably one of the ones I'm most disappointed I didn't get to meet, because unlike Ashlyn Rose, who is another one that I'm really bummed I didn't get to see, I got to meet Ashlyn at Las Vegas. So I had that going for me. Lady Danger was there. She made a post of like, hey, if you want to meet me, here are some rules I would like you to follow, which hard respect for that. Setting boundaries with the community is very good. And it was really simple stuff, like very straightforward. But at the same time, it's stuff that definitely needed to be said, because some people don't respect that. Oh my god, that's a fully moving neck. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm having too much fun with this. I love it. Okay. Next, I need E and C. I've got E right here. I've got C right there. Didn't get to meet Mark Rosewater. Kind of a bummer, but he wasn't really top of my list of people I wanted to meet. Voxy. I was very happy to meet Voxy. I felt so bad and almost like a stalker. Apparently, Melissa Del Toro, who is a major name in Magic. She was formerly of the Pro Tour, but she graduated to being a designer for Magic the Gathering at Wizards, which is super awesome. She apparently did an unofficial draft with a few other Magic celebs. Did I just close out? I just closed out my stream. LOL. It's still streaming, so we're good. We're good. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. Lost all my music too. Let me pull that up again. I hope it didn't pause. It says it's live. Come on, go there. There we go. But Melissa Del Toro had organized a little draft. And I kept walking by hoping that Voxy was at a stopping point because I didn't want to interrupt her game. And finally I'm like, yes, Voxy, please, signature, now, please. And she's like, yes, absolutely. So I got Voxy's signature on my bag, which is sweet. Melissa was still doing a game, so I didn't ask her. And then there was my least favorite, well, one of my least favorite Magic influencers there. Zebex is her name. She's too much for me. She's very extra, and she demonstrated that perfectly during their draft. I think it had to have been an undraft or something. She would just get up and do this random ass victory lap. And I do not like Zebex. So I very intentionally made sure to not say hi to her. Oh, good. It didn't drop. That's good. Good. Let's see here. People I wish had gone. Apparently Cassius Marsh was there and I missed him, which is unfortunate because I love Cash. Very down-to-earth guy. And just a great time. I know Joe Johnson was there, but he's another one I'm not the biggest fan of. So, that's whatever. I mentioned wishing the prof was there, and I still do. Because Professor's amazing. Love the Professor. But if I remember it... Oh, there goes my instructions again. Grab you up. If I remember right, he had a Flesh and Blood event he was going to. So, I guess he kind of picked which one he would rather go to and decided Magic the Gathering, Magic 30 was not the right choice, and I agree. Still bummed I didn't get to meet him, though. I don't know, I think that's really it for our Magic 30 experience. It was... I was gonna just say, it was good. It was a good time. It was not. It was not. It was not a good time. And I am really bummed about that, but such is life. You live and you learn. And maybe that's why I decided I needed to do this sit down and talk about Magic 30. It was warn you to not make the same mistake I did. That's an L, not a J. I think I could read. J9. J9. There is J9. So yeah, cautionary tale. Don't trust wizards to put on a good event. They will not. Plain and simple, they will not. It's a bigger bummer to me too because it really just soured the rest of the Vegas trip for me. I didn't go out on Halloween, which I was really looking forward to. I wasn't in the mood. It really, really killed me. Killed all my enthusiasm for the trip in general. It was bad. It was, ugh, need another drink. Ugh. It was not good. Plain and simple. But that's enough negativity out of me. What exciting things are going on? We're still steadily working towards getting ready for Tales from the Tabletop. Other fun stuff. I was having some words with my tech guy, aka my dad, and we found a system that'll work, but it costs like $1,200. So, gotta wait to build my coffers back up after Vegas so I can actually do that. Looking at a rework of Bar Brawl to hopefully better get videos out, because I'm definitely struggling on that, and I want to do better about that. So, be expecting updates on that. Then C10. Overall, just kind of getting back in the swing of things after Vegas. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. I don't know why. Apparently Vegas just took that much out of me. There's C. Not that I'm upset about that. It was a lot of lessons in Vegas, and that's just part of life, you know? You live and you learn. Okay, how do you go in there? Just like that. Perfect. Look at you, darling. So beautiful. Where's my G's? Where's my other G's? My OGs, if you will. I'm really liking how this model is coming. However, I think we're going to get to the end of this page and call it an evening, so I can do another stream building this. I'm also going to play around with some settings on my whatchamacallit laptop, so that hopefully I can start doing streams on the go. That is one thing I've been kind of remiss about, is when I go on vacation, I can't do any streams. I won't be doing anything until December, but still want to have it pre-planned and set up. So, okay, let's clear some stuff out. You are done, you are done. Oh, excuse me. That was so unladylike. You are done. There's H. Just trying to clear some of the crap out of the way. Hope you guys are doing well. Cram, you doing good? I love model building. It's something I've been wanting to get back into for a while, and then I was like, ooh, I can stream it, and then I can write off models. Which, by the way, Creme, tax tip, make sure you are writing off all the shit you do. All the stuff that costs money. Make sure, if you are making money on it, make sure you write it off. Like, since I have done this stream talking about Vegas, I can now write it off. Write off my expenses for it. Hi, Max. How are you doing, bud? Do you want a banana? Yeah, good boy. Good boy. He's a good little guy. Oh, we finally get to start working on D. Oh, this is hands. We get to work on hand stuff. So, 13. Oh! I read Chainsaw Man. I saw the opening on YouTube, and I was like, I've been meaning to watch it for a while. Holy shit. I was not prepared. So I initially wanted to check it out because it's very berserk in that it's very gory. Very bloody, brutal, etc., etc. And I love bloody, brutal, etc., etc. It's my favorite type of anime. And I was not prepared. It's nothing like rape or anything, but it's intense. And it keeps you guessing. Nothing is ever as it seems in that show, in that manga. I don't want to be too spoilery in case any of you decides to watch it, but it's very interesting. They kind of started a new season, quote unquote, in the manga. It's very weird because I thought that it had a pretty self-contained story. But I don't know if it's studio interference or if the author just has more they want to do with it. But they have more to it. And it's very interesting. I'm very interested to see where this story arc goes. The original story arc is holy shitballs, banana fucker, wild. That is the best way for me to put it. It is insane in the membrane. 10 out of 10 recommend. It has some amazing visuals too. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. Why is this hand not fitting together? What is your problem, hand? Am I doing you upside down? I was really impressed with the protagonist too. Very non-traditional protag, which I'm always a huge fan of. Like, experiment with your protagonists, damn it. I can talk about a lot of the stuff that's been memed so far. He's very horny. And that's like his defining characteristic. For a lot of the show. A lot of the series. I'm going to give up on that for a minute because that is cramping my thumb up. Holy shit. 24, there you are. It's very, very different. One of the things that it kind of talks about is it supposed to be 6 that I'm using? It is. I've been using the wrong one. That's why it's not fitting together. So, first couple chapters summary. This is a world where devils have come out of the woodwork and are attacking humanity, etc., etc. There's this cast of people called Devil Hunters, whose job it is to hunt and kill devils. And they have a very low life expectancy. It's a very lethal job, as you could imagine. And this guy, Denji, partnered with this little devil that he called Pachito. And Pachito is adorable and is best boy. Now, Denji was in debt to the mafia for like 38 million yen and was working off his debt by being a hunter. And eventually gets betrayed, as you do. Ooh, that is not sitting right now. And gets ripped apart, literally. And then Pachito climbs inside, and this is now a mech anime, and he's like, I'm going to control you now. Excuse me. Or not control you, I'm going to be your heart now. Live out your best dreams. Thing I forgot to mention, Denji is very impoverished. Like, did not go to school, eats plain bread for dinner. It's very interesting. I cannot think of a protagonist that is as destitute as Denji. And the destitution really shapes his character in a unique way, because again, I cannot think of a single protagonist that is like Denji. It's very, very interesting to see him grow. Like, he starts getting things figured out in life and kind of learning to grow beyond where his life had started. It is also... People love to give... talk like Game of Thrones and Attack on Titan, how no characters are safe, don't get too attached to anybody. And it's bullshit. The Starks have such thick plot armor. Armin and Mikasa have thick plot armor. I think the only one with plot armor in Chainsaw Man is Denji. Okay, here's 5 and 10. Like, they were killing characters I never would have thought they would have killed. And that is definitely into spoiler territory, but like, I was blown away. I love a good murdered character. As long as it serves a purpose. And isn't just done for the spectacle of it. They do it for the spectacle and the purpose. And speaking of spectacle, holy hell, the designs, the just balls to the wall crazy shit that happens. Without spoiling too much, there is a devil who literally massacres, I think it was like 3.2 million people in the blink of an eye. And that's our... Nope, not saying nothing. 3.2 million people in the blink of an eye. And they show the murder in such a way that it's like a beat by beat. At 1300 seconds, this happens. At 1500 seconds, this happens. And it's like beat by beat showing what happens. And I love that part. So freaking cool. So there is your reading recommendation for the stream. Go check out... Where are my C's? CD's nuts. Go check out Chainsaw Man. It is free online. I think, like, if you Google it, the third result that pops up is a good, reputable one. So, it's so good. 10 out of 10 recommendation. I'm going to finish this page, and then we are going to sign off. I just started it, so we've got some time. The characters are amazing, too. The chapters are really short, so I'm actually really impressed with how much they're able to flesh out the characters. You really grow to feel for each and every one, which makes it all the more tragic. It's amazing. It really is. I'm disappointed in myself that I waited so long to actually read it, despite being so interested in it. So if you like a good gory anime, 1000% check out Chainsaw Man. You will not be disappointed. Trying to figure out how this little bitty piece goes in. I think that's the word. I need like a pair of tweezers and a magnifying glass for this kit. But this is also a $100 kit, so I guess it's good to be complex and interesting. There we go. Kinda. Do you need, like, trimmed? Is that what's up? I think it needs a little trim. Yep, needed a little trim. Let's go get in there now. Get in there now. Avatar 2's coming up. That looks interesting. Like, legitimately. I loved the original Avatar. Dances with Wolves. That's an old joke. No, I'm really interested to see Avatar 2. I think it has the potential to be very good. So I want M. I want H. There's M, H, and I want G. Okay, so G17, which is just a little stop plate. That is so itty bitty. M, I want 4. And H, I want 1. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Twitter's imploding. That's been fun to watch. If you haven't been watching it, kudos to you for having better restraint than I. It's been wild. After tweeting that comedy's back on Twitter, Elon Musk has started banning parody accounts. Like Kathy Griffith, I believe. Griffith? Whatever it is. The chick who held up the decapitated Trump doll. She got banned for impersonating Elon. And he actually made a statement that if you don't clearly indicate that you're a parody account, you will be banned. Like, bruh. Stay mad, Elon. Stay mad. Which I think is his plan. And then there's the whole controversy about paying to get your check mark. Paying to be verified. And, like, this whole What are you doing? You being silly. This whole string of people impersonating others is just textbook definition of why they need to keep verification as it is. It's like nobody was really doing it maliciously until Elon threatened that. Then it's like, well, fuck it. Floodgates are open now. It's also been very fun to see a lot of the Elon supporters coming out and being like, you know, it's identity theft to represent yourself as Elon. Wait. Saw the giant Banshee figures? What giant Banshee figures? Is that Chainsaw Man? Was I not paying attention? Now I'm confused. I love the sound of giant Banshee figures. F1 and F4. Alt F4. My life. No, I think one thing I want to start doing, but I need more space to start doing, is expanding my anime figure. Oh, Avatar! Okay. I was like, there are Chainsaw Man figures? Want? That makes more sense. Yeah, no, The creature design in Avatar, chef's kiss. So good. A4 and PC. Do I have A over here? I have PC over here. I need PC1. Oh, PCI. Well. Max is over here all stretched out. Who is it? Cinema Wins is currently going over Avatar right now. Doing it in 2 parts, and part 1 is out at the Moom. Very worth if you enjoy positive show review. I know I dropped something. Where'd it go? Max, did you read it? Did you read it, Bubba? Well, I'll find it when I need it. No, I'm so excited for Avatar 2. I loved the original Avatar. I'm very excited for Avatar 2. Way of the Water. There is A. And I also need J. J. And I need G what? G19. It's also been very interesting to have all the Call of Duty fanboys freaking out about Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2. Saw somebody like, they put the gay flags in, I'm triggered. Like, LOL, bitch. Getting an aid. It's especially funny because it's those same people who are like, you couldn't survive a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Like, bro, you can't survive a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby now. What the hell are you talking about? I've got so many TikTok songs stuck in my head just perpetually. It's like a jukebox that somebody left on, but it's on shuffle and it's having a seizure. This one's going to be difficult. There's a lot of pieces here. Maybe I should do it like so. Yes. Are you ready? On a semi-related to Magic 30 note, I cannot wait to be a Magic influencer. Because apparently they did karaoke, and I really want to do karaoke with a bunch of other Magic players. Doesn't that sound like fun? Doesn't that sound like fun? Okay, we want J next. J. Wait, J's are over here, aren't they? CP. C. K. F. Of course, now when I need J's, I have moved them. Is that the one that fell? No. Is that? No, that's B. This is another reason I wanted to do it in the game room, is so I have more space to spread out. Yeah, I think J fell. But where did J fall? Max? That's a great creak for like a brand new chair to have. I didn't accidentally throw it away, did I? Yes, I did. No, that's L. Why am I having such trouble with letters today? Where the hell is J? Turn off flashlight. Well, I guess that's gonna be the end of the stream until I can find J. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Krem, for tuning in. For the live stream. If you are watching this back later, I greatly appreciate you. I need more people to do it. That is definite sarcasm. Please don't take me for being that conceited. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Do a little dance. It'd make me happy. I love dancing. I cannot find this goddamn J. Anyways, we'll talk at you guys later. Have a great night, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.